Hi, everyone. I was going to say good morning, but it's not morning anymore. Getting a little bit of a late start. Last night's meditation was really, really powerful, much needed. It was about harnessing our energy in our sacral chakra and in our solar plexus chakra. And it was just really powerful. I love doing those meditations as a group. It just brings so much more strength and magic to the energy. So I benefit with it as long, as along with everybody else. The next two meditations, the next one is the Scorpio new moon. That's actually going to be on Monday evening, the 28th. So a week from today, because the new moon is on the 28th, we're going to do the ritual on the 28th. And that's going to be about, focusing on, being open to change and transformation, and really helping the energy to welcoming the energy of change and transformation. So that's what the Scorpio new moon is going to be about, the ritual. And yeah, and then the one following that is going to be about tapping into your intuition and your inner knowing. Those are both available to register for on my website. And if you don't want to buy them separately, you can always become a patron on Patreon. And you also get extra readings and stuff when you're a patron on Patreon. So so the moon right now is still, I think it's actually moved into Leo as I'm speaking. It just entered into Leo literally minutes ago. But the moon, while it was in Cancer and it was trining, it trined Neptune, it was trining Venus. It felt like the longest transit ever. There were definitely some moments yesterday where I was just happy to be alive. It was amazing how that Neptune, Venus, moon, moving around each other. It was just amazing. Venus is still trining Neptune. So there's really a fascination with love right now. Venus is also sextiling Saturn, and Saturn is sextiling Neptune. So it's very interesting, the dance that's going on, the aspects in the dance that are going on with Venus and Saturn and Neptune, because it's like when you're kind of I feel like we're doing the cha-cha, with the energy. I feel like with this Venus sextiling Saturn, in the last couple of days, there have been some very come to Jesus moments. Basically, you're getting a wake-up call when it comes to your financial situation, when it comes to your relationships. And if you don't feel aligned and whole within yourself right now, it's going to be very, very hard to see what's real and what is an illusion in your life. If you are the person that just cannot seem to feel good and cannot seem to go with the flow of the universe, if you're the person that's having a really hard time going through this transformative moment in all of our lives, this is a huge transformative moment in all of our lives. But if you're one of those people that are having a really hard time doing that, I want to challenge you to find one thing every single day that makes you feel genuinely good. I don't care if that means going to the gym, picking some flowers, buying some flowers. I don't want to promote overeating or anything like that, but sometimes just ordering my favorite dinner, which is a couple of rolls of sushi and some spicy crab salad. But ordering your favorite dinner and sitting down and watching a show that you haven't watched in a while and allowing yourself to just exist in the moment and feel good about the journey that you've been on. Because no matter how far away you feel from your goals or from like the end goal or where you want to be, no matter how far away you feel from that, you're actually much closer than you were yesterday. And allowing yourself to see how much you've grown, and like think about where you were last year. If you are in the exact same position, nothing has changed in the last year, I would like anybody who has not had 1 single ounce of change in the last year to email me and tell me. Not one thing. You haven't lost anybody. You didn't go through a relationship. You didn't have to move. You didn't have to change your job. You didn't gain or lose weight. You didn't change your eating habits. Like nothing, right? You didn't gain a friend. You didn't lose a friend. Your child didn't grow. Your child didn't graduate from their grade. You know what I mean? Like if you can tell me that nothing in your life changed and everything is exactly the same as it was last year, I'll give you, I don't know, gold star. But it's not a competition. My point is we are constantly evolving and we are constantly changing. And if you are so focused on the things that you don't have, or you're so focused on how far out the things that you really, really want in your life are, like how far out into the future they are, how far you feel they are in the future, if you're so focused on the things that you want to have but you don't have them, you're not going to be able to be present. And this is the last chance to be a part of the alignment workshop that I'm doing tonight. If you cannot be a part of the live, you can still get a recording of it. Everybody who is registered to this alignment workshop can be, will also get a recording to it. I'm not going to do this workshop again. I might do this one more time after the first of the year, but I have new ideas already of like the next one I want to do because I'm so excited to just keep sharing all of the things that Spirit keeps giving me, like all of the, I just like, there is a path that is being laid out for me to share with you guys. And this workshop was just the beginning of it. And I'm really, really excited. I had a major shift in the last couple of months where I knew that I was getting settled into what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm not just supposed to be a YouTube tarot reader. I'm going to continue doing this because I love doing it. But I have more to offer. I have more to give. And I'm being fed this information and this channeled information all the time. And so I'm already working on the next workshop. And so I encourage you to be a part of this one. If you have been a part of my workshops in the past, this one is completely different than any of those other self-alignment workshops that I did. So it would behoove you to maybe take a look at this one. All right. So also I wanted to say really quick, as the moon is in Leo now, it is trining Chiron. So there will be some emotional aha moments that you'll probably have in the next couple of days while the moon is in Leo. And we do have the sun squaring the moon today as well. And this is really this is like a power move kind of aspect to have. I actually have the sun squaring my moon in my birth chart. And so that's why I'm such a headstrong person. Like, that's why I can just like nobody's going to get in my way. Nobody's going to stop me. And I try to use it for good and not for evil. But the sun squaring the moon, it's everything that you intended to start or intended to bring into fruition at the new moon that we had in Libra. Remember the new moon in Libra? Yes, it was almost a month ago. But all of those intentions that you set to bring new things into your life, to bring new experiences into your life, everything that you released and brought in with the Aries full moon, right now is the time to watch that come into fruition. And if those things aren't meant to be during this time, then they'll probably go by the wayside and we start a whole new cycle. Really manifesting things during the new moon and stuff like that is a really good way to find out what's for you and what's not for you when it comes to, because a lot of times we manifest things that we want, but they're not necessarily good for us or they're not for our highest good. So manifesting things and then coming to the point during the month where the sun is squaring the moon is a really good time to see whether those manifestations are going to come into reality or if they're just going to go by the wayside, and maybe we'll revisit them again. Let's look at the cards. So, I do have a few reading spots open for, it's like the last week in October. Just a few. They're on my website. They're only 30-minute spots. You can get live or you can get recorded. Don't forget about the rings that are on my website. We're going to be getting the lapis, the blue ones, will be coming in before the holidays, but allow yourself to go look at those and take a gander. These are really, the green jade onyx rings are really good for heart chakra energy. And I infuse all of the jewelry that you get with Reiki and Reiki healing energy. So this is really good for heart chakra. There are 3 sizes to the rings too, 6, 7, and 8. So we have some serious power players here. And I'm curious, it's so funny because I didn't watch his reading, but just from the name, the title of the reading this morning, I feel like this might correlate a little bit with Eric from Divine Conversation. I haven't watched his reading. I just saw that it was about not compromising, or there aren't any compromises anymore, or something like that. Yeah, I feel like everybody's kind of done fighting, you know. It doesn't seem worth it anymore to argue or to fight. So I have the King of Swords. I have the Queen of Wands. I have the 9 of Wands. I have the Page of Pentacles. And this is the thing, is I do feel, I feel like this is a lesson in there's some kind of karmic retribution that's happening here. Give me one second. Okay. I just realized how frizzy my hair is. Like, could it be frizzier? Anyway. All right. So we have the Page of Pentacles, we have Justice, we have the Ace of Cups, and we have Temperance. There is some kind of either needed balance or it's finally happening. The balance is finally, like the balance between the two are being restored. There's an outpouring of love and emotion here. I feel like people are just done fighting. And I think a lot of it has to do with preserving how they feel about themselves and how they feel about the other person. But with this Temperance card also, it's very much a balance of the heart and the mind. It's like we can't force anything to happen anymore. So let's just see how it goes and not put any extra added stressors on things. You see what I'm saying? So let's clarify. Let's see the King of Swords. Yeah, so you could be dealing with an Aquarius energy. Or this is just the masculine going through that balance and healing for himself and allowing himself to see where he needs to stop fighting the healing process. And a lot of times the healing process is going to show up in extremely uncomfortable ways. There's no such thing as growth without fear. But once you conquer fear, that's how you know you've grown. And there's this thing that it's like the masculine has been fighting for so long out of fear, right? And so now there's sort of this healing moment for him. And the divine feminine here, or the feminine, the Queen of Wands, we have the devil on the Queen of Wands. I feel like this is either the Queen of Wands is going through some karmic moments or realizing that this is part of her journey, part of her lesson. Or she was part of the King of Swords lesson. Do you see that? And again, the King of Swords and the Queen of Wands can be switched. It doesn't have to be a male, because even in the masculine energy, you can be female. Or with the feminine energy, you can be male, right? But I do feel like there's sort of this moment or this recognition between the masculine and the feminine right now of, oh man, this is a really karmic lesson that we're learning. And maybe it's that they're karmic to each other, or maybe it's just that this is one of those moments where we realize that we're sort of going through a karmic lesson together. And maybe we, instead of tamping it down and not facing it, let's get uncomfortable and stop fighting against it and just see what the lesson is and learn it already, right? Because the Page of Pentacles is the student. Yeah, see, let's just be strong enough to, instead of fighting against the lesson or instead of fighting for something to happen, right? That Leo new moon, or that Leo moon that's I said new moon, that Leo moon that's happening right now, that's trining Chiron, that's squaring the sun, it's going to bring up the deep-seated wounds, the wounds that we don't pay attention to, the ones that we don't see until somebody shows it to us. We don't pay attention to those wounds because they're uncomfortable, and so every time they come up, we push them back away, or we shove them back down. Deep, deep, deep down in the gut. Like, I'm not going to deal with those emotions. Are you kidding me? No way. So let's see what this Page of Pentacles is. And here's the thing is, if you're just sort of like feeling, because like mostly these days, I sort of just feel like I'm a student of the universe right now. And I don't know what direction I'm going to go in next. Like, I have a pretty good idea, but I have a whole bunch of options and I have a whole bunch of roads, 7 of Cups, right? I have a whole bunch of options in front of me of what direction I could take. And if I let my mind get the best of me, and if I allowed myself to get caught up in the fact that I have all of these decisions to make, oh my God, if I let myself stress out about all of the decisions I have to make, instead of just going in a direction, like, you don't stop overthinking it. When you have a decision to make and you have a lot of options when it comes to that decision, get quiet. Get into a meditation. And meditation does not have to mean that you're getting into an enlightened state of mind. You shut your mouth, you shut off all the things that are around you that make noise and distract you, and you close your eyes and you breathe. Meditation is like praying to yourself, praying to whoever that source energy is for you, whether it's God or Jesus or Jehovah or Abraham or whoever it is to you. I don't care. They're all the same to me. It's the same entity. It's the same energy. You see? And getting quiet can bring you into a balanced state of mind. I do feel like there is some karmic justice here. There's like this final realization of what do I need to do? Yeah, final realization and judgment comes out. There we go. Final realization. And see, here's the thing, guys. When we get to that final realization of I have to make a decision, I have to shit or get off the pot. I know that's a really terrible saying. That's literally the saying that I heard in my head, so I had to say it. I have to finally make this decision, and I cannot depend on anybody else to make this decision for me. And if I think about it way too much, and I allow myself to think about it too much, I'm never going to make it. And then I'll just stay in my stuck state of mind, my lack mentality. People ask me all the time, you know, how do I get out of being in a lack mentality? How do I allow myself to move forward? How do I see the benefits of everything that's going on in my life when I'm just so miserable? And I say, take control of your emotions. Stop trying to force things to happen that you've been trying to force for a really, really long time. If that's not the road you're supposed to take right now, why are you trying to take it? It's like you're walking down a road and there are bear traps and you keep getting caught by the bear traps, and then you bitch that you're getting caught by the bear traps, but by God, you're going to get there, aren't you? No. Instead, there's another road over here. It doesn't look very comfortable. It's very rocky. Doesn't look like a whole lot of fun, but it gets you to your destination. It gets you to what you're supposed to be doing. Whereas that bear trap, it's like you were almost trying to skip the steps. The Emperor on the Ace of Cups. You take control of your boundaries. You take control of loving yourself. Don't depend on other people to give you love, to know that you are worthy of love. It is not getting past me that the Three of Swords is at the bottom of the deck, by the way, as I'm talking about this. Nobody else can make you feel any way. People can do things that are really, really rotten, but you get to decide on how it's going to make you feel. Sure, you may be sad for a little while, but how long are you going to sit in that? That's how you control your emotions. And here's the thing, you guys, is when you are able to no longer allow other people to trigger you, their journey doesn't trigger you, your journey, you're minding your own business. There is a freedom in that is, you can't even describe it. You can't even describe it. So allowing yourself to balance your heart and your mind, regardless of whether you know what's coming next or not, is huge. It's like magic. And don't skip the steps. Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. When I say don't skip the steps, I mean, if you're trying to find a new job, put your resume out there, but don't pick the first job that comes along unless it meets all of your criteria and everything that you want, right? Don't pick that first job. You already have a job currently, but you would like to better yourself. And so now you're searching for a new job. And I know some people right now don't even have a job and they're searching for a job, but let's just hypothetically speaking, right? This is how you don't skip the steps. You start with your resume. There's no, if you keep trying to better yourself and you want to get a better job and you want to be a manager position or a supervisor position and you've never done that before, putting yourself out there, sure, that's great and fantastic. But what did you do to get there? Does your resume show that your responsibility level is at that manager and supervisor quality? Does your resume, do you show, you know, can you get people to say, this is just a hypothetical situation, but that's how you don't skip the steps. You have to make sure that you've taken care of everything else before you manifest getting, I mean, you can't like become a CEO of a company if you've, first of all, never worked at the company and you've been a waitress your whole life and you don't know anything about being a CEO. It's not that you can't be the CEO of a company. It's that right now you haven't mastered that skill. So why are you trying to, that, you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying here? Don't skip the steps on your journey. And when you skip a step, you'll know, because you'll have to backtrack and go back around. All the things. All right, I'm done lecturing you for the day. I love you guys so, so much. Come join me on my alignment workshop tonight. It's going to be really amazing. I'm going to cut off the sign up time at 4:30 Central Standard Time. You have until 4:30, so it's 5:30 Eastern, because the workshop starts at 6:30 Central tonight, and I want to be able to have time to let everybody know everything, all the information. Okay, I love you guys. Have a really great day.